So this is the way that I see a lot of videos show on YouTube. Basically just take a knuckle, any knuckle, doesn't matter which one, put it down, figure out where you want it to be, put your pencil down, and just spin the paper. You gotta be gentle, try not to move. I moved just a little bit. You can see I just moved a little bit. Here, I don't know if you can see that or not. See, it works. It's fine. It does the job. Thing is, a lot of times, especially if you're drawing something big, you can't spin the paper. So you got to find a way to draw a circle that's at least close to being perfect without spinning the paper. For that, we need to do a different method. So this is the way that you can do it, just if you want to draw a basic circle. This is the way most people would sketch something out. You just simply pick where you want it to be, find your center, and then just kind of sketch it out. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just sketch. I'm going to have to go a little darker here than I normally do, because otherwise you guys aren't going to be able to see it on the paper. Normally I would do this very, 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 very lightly. And then you just come back in and tweak and fix. Until you get the circle that you want. And you can tell this is where I put my center. And I've gone a little bit off center. My center now is about over here somewhere. So just sketching it in roughly is not exactly accurate. You don't always need to be, which is fine. But that's where it's going to be. A better way that I like to do, if I need it to be at least somewhat accurate, is I'll find where I want my center to be. Right here. Again, I'm doing this much darker than I normally do because you guys probably can't see it very well. Okay. Let's zoom in just a little bit. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll take a good old trusty Post-it note, fold over the sticky side because we don't want it to stick to our paper. And then what I'll do is I'll figure out what I want my diameter and my center to be. Okay, I'll put a mark here and a mark there, if that's where I want it to be. Put that there, I'll make a dot. And I can move it over here and make a dot. And I can move it up here like this. And I can make a dot. And I can move it over here. And I can make a dot. And I'll keep doing this all over, all the way around. The more dots, the better. And you don't need to know inches or millimeters or fractions or pi r squared or anything like that, because you're just going to make some dots. And then, like I said, the more dots the better. Just like in our childhood, we're going to play connect the dots. And we're just going to carefully, again, I'm doing this a bit darker than I normally would, very carefully connect the dots. And Again, it's not going to be 100% perfect, but for 99% of the time, you probably don't need a circle to be absolutely 100% accurately perfect. And for that 1% where you do, there you go. That's why we have one of these things. It's a compass. And you put that down on your paper like this. Come down here where I can show you a little better. And apparently I need to put new lead in this. We'll just do it this way. Just touch it down and around and around and around, and make a couple of marks and follow it right on around until you have your circle. Just like that. Brilliant. And then you can always come back in with your pencil or pen or ink, and you can very carefully just darken. Now, if you're right-handed, I suggest starting in the upper left corner. If you're left-handed, I suggest starting in the upper right corner, or the lower left, lower right, I mean, because it's just usually easier. I moved my paper on myself a little bit there. But again, that's why we have these things. This is your best friend. It is not a sin. It is not bad. It does not make it not real art if you use an eraser. An eraser is the artist's absolute best friend, because we can come in, we can take whatever it is we want, and we can fix it. And we can even take it all the way down to nothingness almost until we can't see it. And then we can put in more. And we can do this until our heart's content with what it looks like. However long it takes, because that's what art's all about. Making it to your heart's content. Whatever it looks like, if that's the way you like it, great. If it's not the way you like it, fix it. Draw it again. So, step one is figure out where you want it. This sounds like a no-brainer, silly step, but obviously it's kind of the most important, because you don't want to put it where you don't want it. Makes sense, right? Step two is find the center. I want it right about in here. I want the center right there. Now again, I'm going to do this a bit darker than I normally would. I'm going to say that quite often, because most of the time I'm not doing this for a camera. Step three is use a piece of paper to mark out the radius that you want. Okay, this is just simple. We don't need to worry about exact measurements. We don't need inches or centimeters. All we need to do is whatever size circle we want. We're going to make a line here and a line over here, and that's our radius. Step 4 is we're going to use the measured paper to make dots all the way around. I'm going to start here with that one, and then we can move over here like this, and we make another one, and we're going to do it in all different directions. The more the better. I've skipped ahead and made a few myself, and then all we're going to do is make a few more. We can make them whatever angles, whatever location we want. If we see a gap, we can fill it. If we want them closer, and the closer the better. I should be able to do it. There's a little gap over here. I can put one in there if I want. Doesn't have to be exactly precise. And then what we're going to do is we're going to connect the dots very lightly, very carefully. We're just going to make little curved line connecting the dots. And we're going to use our eyes just in case one of the dots is outside of where it needs to be. This one here is a little bit goobered. I'm just going to connect them. And there we go. Simple dimple. Let me show you here a little bit closer so you can see it. There it is. Easy peasy.